Welcome back to Nation of Glory, the home of legends, stories of courage, and the heart of professional wrestling. Today, we are diving deep into the journey of one man who redefined greatness, a man whose name echoes through the walls of every wrestling arena, a man born for glory, Randy Orton. From his very first day in the ring to his transformation into a wrestling icon, this is not just a story about victories or championships. It's about legacy, pain, redemption, and the soul of a man who was destined to stand at the very top. Let's begin this journey. The year was 2000. A young man named Randall Keith Orton walked into the world of professional wrestling with a dream burning brighter than the lights of the arena. He was not just another rookie, he was the third generation of a wrestling dynasty. His grandfather, Bob Orton Sr., and his father, Cowboy Bob Orton, had already carved their names in wrestling history. But Randy? Randy wanted to make that history his own. He was hungry. He was fearless. But more than anything, he had something inside him, a silent rage, a burning fire that would one day make him the legend killer. When he first stepped into WWE, people noticed something different. His calm expression, his cold stare, his precision inside the ring, it was like he was born to perform. But his road to success was not easy. Injuries, mistakes, and doubts clouded his early years. Yet every time he fell, he came back sharper, colder, and stronger. Soon, fans began to whisper his name. Randy Orton. The kid with the ruthless eyes and the perfect dropkick. When he joined the faction known as Evolution, alongside Triple H, Ric Flair, and Batista, everything changed. Evolution wasn't just a group, it was dominance, arrogance, and power rolled into one. They represented the past, the present, and the future of wrestling. And Randy? He was the future. In 2004, Randy Orton made history. He became the youngest world heavyweight champion in WWE history at just 24 years old. The crowd was electric, the commentators were shouting, and in that single moment, Randy's destiny was fulfilled. But glory, my friends, doesn't come without consequences. Triple H, the leader of Evolution, saw something dangerous, a young lion ready to take the throne. And like every great story, betrayal followed. Evolution turned on Randy. They destroyed him in front of the world. That night, he was not just beaten physically, his soul was shattered. But this betrayal didn't end him. It created the legend killer. He came back with vengeance in his heart. Every match, every opponent, every legend who stood across from him, he destroyed them one by one. From Mick Foley to The Undertaker, from Shawn Michaels to Hulk Hogan, Randy Orton became the man who ended legacies. He didn't just want to win, he wanted to make people remember that he was inevitable. The crowd started to see something different in him. He wasn't the loud, flashy type. He was cold, methodical, and calm like a predator. That's when the world started calling him the Viper. The Viper doesn't strike often. But when he does, it's deadly. And his signature move, the Arco, became a symbol of sudden destruction. Out of nowhere, that was the magic. Fans all around the world started chanting, Arco. 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 From memes to highlights, it wasn't just a move anymore. It was a phenomenon. But behind that fame and glory, Randy Orton was also fighting something deeper himself. He faced injuries, suspensions, and moments of personal struggle. There were times he almost lost everything. But true warriors aren't those who never fall, they're the ones who rise again every single time. In 2009, he won the Royal Rumble. He was back at the top. But what made Randy special wasn't just the titles, it was his ability to evolve. Just like a snake sheds its skin, Orton changed with every era of WWE. He adapted, he survived, and he dominated. From being the legend killer, he became the apex predator, the very embodiment of danger in human form. Every rivalry he had turned into a story worth remembering: his battles with John Cena, his wars with The Undertaker, his mind games with Bray Wyatt, and his brutal matches with Edge. Each one revealed a different side of his character: the cold assassin, the loyal warrior, the friend, and even the monster. There was one rivalry that defined an era: Randy Orton versus John Cena. Two men, same ambition, same drive, but opposite styles. Cena was the hero, the face of the company, and Orton was the darkness, the shadow that reminded everyone that glory always has a price. Their matches weren't just fights, they were stories. Stories of respect, pain, and obsession with greatness. Every time they faced each other, it was personal. It was raw. And that rivalry became one of the most iconic in WWE history. Years passed, generations changed, and yet Randy Orton remained. Through every new face, every new superstar, Orton stood tall. Quiet, confident, and deadly as ever. He didn't need to shout. His presence spoke louder than words. But what makes Orton truly special is not just his championships, it's his mastery of storytelling inside the ring. Every look, every pause, every move, it's art. He made people feel emotions through silence. That's why even after 2 decades, fans still chant his name. And then came a time when he showed another side, the mentor. In 2020, he teamed up with Riddle to form RK-Bro. It was unexpected, funny, and yet it worked beautifully. Two opposite personalities, Riddle's chaos and Orton's calm, blended perfectly. The chemistry, the humor, the heart, fans fell in love with them instantly. Through RK-Bro, the world saw a softer side of the Viper. The man who once destroyed friendships now became a brother. It was beautiful to watch. But like every story of greatness, there was pain behind the curtain. Injuries started catching up. Years of battles, falls, and pain took a toll on his body. There came a time when people feared they might never see Randy Orton in the ring again. Back surgery, long recovery, fans waited, prayed, and hoped for his return. And then, like a true warrior, he came back. The crowd erupted. The music hit voices in my head and the arena exploded. Goosebumps. Tears. Smiles. The legend was back. Because legends don't retire, they rise again. Even after 2 decades, Orton's love for wrestling remains pure. He doesn't just fight for titles now. He fights for legacy. For respect. For the fans who have been with him since day one. He stands as a living example that discipline, passion, and heart can turn anyone into a legend. Randy Orton isn't just a superstar. He's an emotion. He's the calm before the storm, the silence before the strike, the man who taught the world that greatness isn't about being loud, it's about being consistent. And as we look at his journey from the young boy dreaming of glory, to the ruthless legend killer, to the wise apex predator, we realize something beautiful. Randy Orton didn't just chase greatness. He became it. His story teaches us that even when the world turns against you, even when the people you trust betray you, and even when your body breaks, if your spirit stays unbroken, you will always rise again. In the end, Randy Orton isn't just part of WWE history. He is WWE history. His name will be spoken for generations to come. So, as the lights fade and the music echoes through the crowd, one voice remains in every fan's head. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand. That's the sound of legacy. Because Randy Orton is not just a wrestler. He's a legend. A warrior. A symbol of evolution. And that nation of glory is why Randy Orton will forever be remembered as one of the greatest of all time. Thank you for staying with us through this incredible journey. If you felt inspired by this story, if you felt the goosebumps, if you remembered those moments of glory, then make sure to hit that like button, share this video with every wrestling fan you know, and subscribe to Nation of Glory for more stories of legends, heroes, and warriors who shaped the world of wrestling and Hollywood entertainment. Because here, every story is built on passion, every voice is heard, and every legend lives forever. Until next time, this is Nation of Glory, signing off. Stay proud, stay strong, and never stop believing in greatness. Thank you, and see you in the next video.